Welcome to the Mayor's Report. I'm Ray Somich, and of course, our mayor is Robert Fiala. Mayor, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Ray. Good afternoon and welcome to our new senior center.
This is such a beautiful facility here. We are broadcasting here today and recording live at the new David E. Anderson Senior Center. You probably haven't been here yet. You've got to get here, even if you're not a senior.
It's a great facility, and we're getting rave reviews from our seniors thus far.
Yeah, this whole complex is just so amazing. Such a wonderful asset, not only for Willoughby, but I mean for Northeast Ohio. This is going to be something that's really state of the art for everyone to enjoy.
Yeah, exactly right, Ray. It's a one-of-a-kind facility, or actually combination of facilities. It's the YMCA, the Willoughby Middle and Senior High Schools, as well as the Senior Center, and it's a great collaboration. It's going to give us a lot more bang for our collective bucks with these facilities. So we're delighted to have these partners on board with us, and we're looking for a great relationship going forward.
Now, a lot of people have already been here. We've had the open house, the ribbon cutting, all those kind of things already. And I understand that they've actually joined, had a lot of new members join since we've opened.
We're at about 1,900 members currently, and that has actually grown by 16% just since our ribbon cutting, which happened in August of this year. So it's been a wonderful asset. People are noticing it. They're stopping by. In fact, the day that we had our open house, we had about 400 people just stopping by to say hi and visit with us.
Wow. Now, part of the reason, obviously the facilities are tremendous, but it's also very reasonable to be a member of this.
It's the best bargain in Lake County. It could be the best bargain in Ohio, actually.
I think so.
For residents, it's only $7 a year, and for non-residents, it's $9 a year. So it's a great bargain to be in a great brand new facility.
Now, of course, our residents are very happy with that price, but you do welcome, so if they have friends that live in adjoining cities or in other areas and they want to come here and participate with them on some of the trips and things, they can be a member too for only $9 a year.
That's right, yes. And in fact, we find, when I come to visit the Senior Center, I'm often amazed at how many of our neighboring communities members are here visiting with us for the day. So Menor, Wickliffe, Eastlake, Willowick, it's not unusual to see people from all those communities on any given day here.
Yeah, fantastic. And of course, when you do turn 90, I understand that there's no cost at all.
That's right. So there is a benefit to longevity.
So on the low end, 55 plus is your youngest senior.
Yep.
And then when you get to 90, then there's no cost at all, which is
That's
fantastic. Right. Let's talk about some of the other things with the facility itself, because this is also a community facility that can be used beyond for senior events.
Exactly right. You know, part of this great collaboration between ourselves, the Y, and the high school, or South High School, Middle School, is the fact that we get to use some really great facilities that we couldn't have otherwise paid for ourselves. So for example, we got a great 4-court basketball field house. One of those courts is ours. It's owned by the Senior Center. We've got a great walking track, a suspended walking track, a great asset to the seniors in the Silver Sneakers. Right. And we've got an 8-lane competitive pool. And we've got, more importantly, the YMCA has a warm water pool for therapy. So we've got all the assets we could ever imagine that we normally could not have afforded if we were paying for it ourselves.
So besides all the athletic activities that they can do, there's also space here that you can also rent out to the community.
Absolutely. The building was designed with multiple flexible spaces so that they can be divided up into small areas or very large areas. So if you want to host a shower, a birthday party, some celebration of any sort, we have enough room for you to do it here. And we have a fully equipped kitchen. So we've got amenities that anybody with any kind of function could want to have.
And beautiful parking, close parking too for the elderly or for anybody that may have concern about that. I also noticed that there's all kinds of classes that are open here too that they can get more information about. Music lessons, clubs, different kind of things that they can do here as well. As a matter of fact, the travel is a big part of the Senior Center. I didn't realize that. We even received some information because they do about 2 day trips every week.
Yeah, exactly right.
Wow.
And they're sold out. They're always sold out. So they're great. They're a great attraction for us.
Yeah, and then every year you do a few that are overnight, 2 to 3 overnight. So there's a couple events that are coming up here that people might really want to go. Washington, D.C. Is a big one, to come to the nation's capital. And I noticed they picked an interesting time, November 8th to 10th. Now, this year it may not be as crazy as it would be next year. I don't know if anybody would want to be going that week in 2020.
In 2020 could be a little bit of a challenge.
Yes.
But for this year yet, it could be a great trip to have.
It really would be. So if you are interested in doing that, and it's got a tour of some of the big sites from Washington, D.C. that are included with that one. And then in December, just in time for Christmas, one of my favorite places to visit. Love Nashville.
It's a great city. If you're a country music fan, you can't be anywhere else than Nashville, Tennessee. A great downtown, and it's going to be a great trip. I know our seniors are going to love it.
They really will. December 8th to 11th is the dates for Nashville, and November 8th to 10th, right around the corner, if you'd like to go to Washington, D.C. Now, Mayor, if people want to get more information, maybe they even want to reserve some dates at the Senior Center and perhaps go on some of these trips and things, is there a specific number that they should contact for that?
Yep, actually you're going to be seeing it on your screen as we speak. So we just pick up the phone and make a quick phone call, and you'll get assistance immediately.
All right, very good. So, all right, another big topic we have to cover today, Mayor, garbage collection. That is one of those areas that everybody is concerned about because it piles up, and we need to know where it goes. You've had some major changes in the city.
Exactly right, and garbage collection is a weekly effort, so we're always 6 days away from something happening as it relates to trash in Willoughby. For many years, we've had Waste Management as our trash hauler, and they've done a fine job. But what we do whenever a contract expires is we always go to the competitive marketplace to see if there's other options for us.
Sure.
And this year we found one. Republic will be our new waste hauler this year. They came in with the lowest quote. They've got a great reputation. They seem to have all the right things that the city of Willoughby residents are going to need. And it's going to be a little bit of a change, but we think it's going to be a positive change.
All right. And that is a regular process. It wasn't because anything happened with the prior vendor or whatever. This is just a way of saving money and being more efficient.
That's right. Part of our job in city government is always to make sure we have the best value for our citizens. And this is one of the ways we do it, by bidding out contracts competitively when they expire. If the vendor or the contractor is fortunate enough, they can stay on. But if they're not lowest and most qualified, then we will select the lowest and most qualified.
Okay. And this is garbage collection as well as recycling,
yes,
both through Republic.
Yes.
And I understand the cost is about $18 or so?
Yeah, about $18, and that's right in line with what we expected. It's a great value. The services are virtually identical. There's a couple small things that will be changing, but for the most part, the service will be exactly the same.
So for less than $5 a week, you've got your recycling, and that includes the bins too,
Yeah.
right? Because we do have to transfer some bins out here.
That's right. So the one change this year that will be a little bit different is that the waste hauler will also be supplying not only the recycling bins, but the trash bins as well. So we'll have a 96-gallon trash bin and a 64-gallon recycling bin this year. So it's going to be, and it's really because they want to automate the services, and it's just easier for them to pick up trash, and it's more efficient for them to just provide us with the bins.
But I think our community will like that too.
I think so.
It really is very convenient for them just to roll that out on the big wheels, and it works well for everybody. Now, it officially starts November 1st, but they'll have to get ready for the starting the week of October 21st?
That's right. So the month of October is going to be an interesting month because not only will we be retrieving some of the bins from Waste Management, we will also be deploying the new bins, both the recycling and the trash bins, for Republic. So we're asking everybody to keep your eyes and ears open, our website, newsletter, Facebook page, to just follow us and how we're going to be deploying the new service.
Now, what didn't change, I understand, though, is that the regular trash collection is weekly.
Yes.
But the recycling is bi-weekly,
Exactly
every other
right,
week
yes.
on that one. Okay.
And we've been assured by Republic that they're going to do as best as they can to keep our trash hauling days the same. We can't guarantee it just yet, but they're working on their scheduling right now. And again, if it should change, reach out to our website, our Facebook page, or just call City Hall, and we'll give you the correct dates.
Mayor, let's talk about leaf collection, something that's very important to people as your career in council and now almost 2 years as mayor. You get a lot of calls about leaf collection, don't you?
Yep. In 22 years of being involved with local politics, I found that leaf collection is one of the yearly events that we get the most phone calls about. So it's important to understand how it happens and why it begins and why it ends.
Yeah, and I hope people are patient because they have to understand that a lot of it is beyond anybody's control with when the leaves start falling, right? The amount of snow and rain and ice that we get in the buildup, sometimes you just can't do it all.
Yes, and we've experienced a couple mild winters where leaves just waited a long time to come down, so we end up picking up much later. And then we've experienced recent really harsh winters that started earlier, which means we have to stop leaf collection. So we have to watch the weather, and we are going to do leaf collection as long and until the weather tells us we can't.
Exactly. Now, based on the snowfall at this point, and the anticipated snowfall, and therefore the leaf fall, if you will, it'll be starting about the second week of October?
Yep, and then it goes till December 1st, again, unless we get an early snowfall, and we simply can't pick them up.
Okay. And the city has a certain path, right? So they know that these are the streets that will be done on a regular basis. They can't come to the same streets all the time. They have to do the entire city before they can come back to the second street.
Yes, and this, our service department does a wonderful job to make sure every one of our wards has the exact same number of pickups. So they're on a rotation. So if you miss a day, there's a good chance that, and weather permitting, there's a good chance they're going to be back in a week or so to pick it up. And if you have any questions, just call our service department. They'll coach you through where the trucks and the vehicles and the manpower's at and when you might expect them in your neighborhood.
Now, there are some things that the people can do, though, to make it an easier process, right? If you push those things out on the street, or if you push them into the ditches, that's not helping anybody.
The ditches, pushing leaves in ditches causes stormwater management problems, so we certainly don't want to do that. And in the streets, if they're pushing the streets, and if it does snow, it causes plowing problems. So we're asking everybody, just make sure, keep your leaves on your tree lawn. You may notice maybe if it's a week before they get picked up, the lawn may get a little bit brown, but we're pretty confident it's going to get back to green when spring comes.
Yes. Now, they can rake them to the curb. That's allowed, right?
Yep.
And then they can put them in bags.
Yep.
And you also allow them to put them in cans as well.
Yes.
Okay, so there's a number of different options that people can use. You don't have to, because there are some communities that have gone now to great restrictions, and they say you can only use these particular bags, for example.
No, we offer a lot of flexibility with that. And another note is that, if we do have a snowfall and it goes away before December, we'll be out picking leaves, but the process will be a little bit slower because the leaves are wet and they're a little heavier. So it just takes a little bit longer to do a neighborhood when those conditions are there.
Yeah. And of course, you're already converting some of the trucks now to plows too, and for salt spreading. So there's also that concern once that first snowfall comes through.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's a lot more to it behind the scenes. And again, I think the biggest word that anybody can preach on that is patience.
Yes.
Just please understand that the city is doing the best they can on that. Mayor, let's talk about the economic development, because Willoughby continues to be at the forefront with this beautiful facility here at Union Village, but with so many other areas of the city that are just doing so well and bringing new businesses in, new homes in. So what is the latest with the Lakefront SID?
Well, the Lakefront SID, as we talked about before, is a vehicle by which we can help our private property owners and the city pay for some pretty expensive erosion control measures. And we've been successful in getting all 13 of the lakefront communities on board, as well as the city of Euclid's going to be joining our SID. Now, with that much horsepower, we have the ability to get the attention of the county commissioners, our state and federal legislatures, and we're meeting with them regularly right now. And the intent is to help our residents get some legal and planning services at no cost, and hopefully paid for by either county, state, or federal agencies.
And you get a good effort already going that way.
Yeah, we've been blessed with the amount of cooperation that we've received by the different municipalities, townships, and villages. It's going in the right direction. It's as with anything this complex, it takes a little bit more time than you'd like it to take. And so we're asking people to be patient. It is going to happen. The good news is that if residents want to start their improvements or erosion control measures now, they can do that and still join the SID retroactively. So even though the SID organization may take a few months, they can go ahead, do their erosion control measures, and still join. Okay,
very good. What about the Glen Ridge project? What's happening with that?
Well, we've just gotten authorization from City Council to go ahead and begin an RFQ process. In fact, at the last council meeting, we reviewed the RFQ with Council. The intent is
people, what does that mean? RFQ for them?
That's a great question.
Yes.
So an RFQ is a request for qualifications, and what we're looking for now are just development teams with the skill set, the equity, and the talent to do a project that'll be co-sponsored by a developer and the city. It's going to be a true public-private joint venture. it's qualifications only. So we're not interested in a proposal, but we're interested in skill sets. Once we determine who the 2 or 3 most qualified firms are, then we'll bring them in for interviews and ask for their opinions or their thoughts or their takes on what might happen. So it's a rather ambitious project, but it may bring some additional parking to downtown. It will make parking down the hill in Todd Field much easier to access, and may breathe some new life for our downtown merchants and bars and restaurants.
Well, as we've spoken about in the past, that has been one of the long issues that people have complained about with parking, and that will resolve that, but with some other problems too that they can pick up along the way.
Yes. Right.
Very good. How about, Chagrin River is one of the most beautiful assets of not only Willoughby, but the adjoining communities too, but it's also bringing its issues with it, especially with erosion and things. What's the latest on that? You're getting some funds?
Yes, we're hopeful to. We just submitted a rather sizable grant application, and we're working on a second. And I have to give a shout out and a thanks to the Chagrin River Watershed Partners, who actually exist or have their offices in downtown Willoughby. They are advocates and strong supporters of our river, Chagrin River. And the program you just mentioned, the grant application, represents about $2.75 million worth of repairs along the Chagrin River near Daniels Park, and specifically it will help solve some of the erosion that's occurring on Route 84. So it corrects some problems, but also sets us up to create the trail that the city's been so patient and so anxious to see happen, that would connect, hopefully, Daniels Park to Todd Fields.
You've got a second grant too that you're going to apply for.
Yes, we're just starting now a trail planning grant, and it's a host of the most important entities to be involved in such a thing. It includes, the cities of Eastlake and Willoughby. It includes the Chagrin Watershed Partners, the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, the Western Reserve Land Conservancy, Metro Parks. We've all come together, and we're trying to get Lake Erie to connect with Daniels Park. And it's an ambitious project, there's no question about it. And it's going to take more than a handful of years to get this to happen. But everybody at the table right now is excited, they're pushing hard. The Western Reserve Land Conservancy has taken a step forward and starting to acquire the parcels necessary to connect all the parts along the river. And we're excited about it. As we've talked before, our river is an asset that has been so hugely ignored, and we've got a great park at Rees Road, a Metro Parks facility. But from there to Lake Erie or from there to Daniels Park, there's not much you can do, and so we want to see that changed.
Yeah. So connecting all of that together, what a great vision that would be.
Yes.
And you've got all the right people at the table to make that happen.
Yes.
Even if it does take a few years, it's worth the effort.
And more importantly, they're excited about it. So if we can keep the enthusiasm up, if we can keep them focused, we're looking for some success.
Yeah. And something else to put Willoughby, it's already on the map for a number of things, but that would also even add to that list.
Yes.
Something very special. Let's kind of give a recap of what has happened over the last few months, summer of 2019. What do you think the highlights of the year were?
Well, I would be remiss if I wouldn't mention our 10 gazebo concerts that occurred on Thursday night. They were a tremendous success, and I was at every one of them, and I heard time and time again from the folks that were there that the bands that were selected were just great. There was one of the performers, the crowd was so large they were actually in Citizens Bank lawn listening to the concert. So they're hugely successful. We're going to tweak those a little bit and maybe add some for next year. This year we added 3 outdoor movies. Those were hugely successful. We're doing everything we can to animate our downtown, and especially in the summer months when you can really experience it. So it's been an interesting and an exploratory few months during the summer.
Now the movies want to mention, because I know you had some help with that, the Willoughby Library.
Yes,
and also the Willoughby Police Athletic League also had a hand in putting that together for us.
Yes, and our hats off to both of them. They really helped take a leadership role and made the city's efforts so much easier.
Yeah. How about the corn roast?
Corn roast we brought that back, and many years ago we had it. It was purely volunteer back then, and this year too it was a wholly volunteer city-run event. And for the first time in 30 years, we were very pleased with the outcome. The residents responded favorably to it. We had an excellent band, beautiful day, that helps.
Yes.
And the intent is to kind of take the Last Stop Willoughby parade and make it a little bit make it a longer day so that the residents stay downtown and enjoy what the downtown has to offer.
So we've got a lot of great successes in the summer. We're approaching fall. Some business things changing, of course, with the leaves and the garbage, but I'm sure that you'll also have a city growth, and we'll be talking about the holidays before you know it.
Yep, and we've got some interesting and some fun things to talk about when the holidays do start to show up.
Very good. We'll talk about that in the very next edition. Thanks so much, Mayor. We appreciate it. And we appreciate you being with us on this edition of the Mayor's Report. We'll talk to you again real soon.